Welcome, everybody. It's your boy Elsie coming with you guys another video on YouTube. So, CC is literally about to end in 14 hours. So you have 14 hours of the time of this video when it's being created on March 14, 2022 to go out and go get your motherfucking goddamn medals for CC. Minimum risk 18. I hope you guys already done so already. I've already gone to risk 25 already. So I know I haven't done my weekly annihilation. So while this annihilation is going through, this will actually show you guys what I did for this. So while this is going on, both me and someone in the Discord are going to be discussing about the brand new operators that are going to be coming. My guest at this time will be Jamie. He's been a loyal player to the game. Is also very loyal to me when it comes to playing the game and such. So here we are, and this is for anyone, and I mean anyone that's interested in seeing how I did the whole annihilation thing. I'm also going to play a spaghetti over here on top of all that, so your boy is hungry. Alright.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and start a note. In terms of CC.
Yeah.
So CC is already literally about to end in about 14 hours, and the highest that you and I gotten is 25, which is
for a week.
Yeah. So it is pretty. We're already up there. Like the minimum that I literally want everybody in my community to do is at least to go through risk 20, the risk 18. Because usually anything higher strats is usually going to contain like some form of spending of higher operators that are usually higher than like pot 4 or pot 5.
Yeah.
Which is understandable because that literally gives them a slightly better boost in damage. Because a pot 1 character, a pot 1 of a 6-star or 5-star looks very different than a pot 6 of the same one. They either have more defense and they literally have slightly different variations, which is difference of attack power, attack speed, resistance, and one of the more important things is DP costs, which is literally subtracted by like 2.
Yeah.
And of course redeployment time, which we can't forget about that.
Which, to deployment cost, might not seem like much, but considering in CC, where especially with DP risks that basically screw over with the DP regen, it makes a huge difference. Because every second matters in high risk.
Yeah. Like I even seen people that risks were so freaking diversely different that you get to see people like, dude, I need a better freaking parameters because my parameters can't do this because she's not part 4 or part 5 because of the DP, because of the redeployment time.
Yeah.
Or like a Certus set, or like a Certus. Oh, my Certus doing like 1800 damage. I need like a little bit more damage so she can do something. Well, that's where the pay to win aspect comes into play.
Yeah.
Or other times it's just luck. Like.
Yeah. Sometimes RNG does kick in.
Yeah, like I shit you not. I literally remember pulling for like different 6 stars and shit, and I can't and I can count on my hand on how many different times I've seen. I got like 6 stars literally back to back to back, or I have to literally wait for pulls on in.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty much showing off the annihilation strat first. Ooh, this spaghetti is good. I'm showing off the annihilation strat first. What I do for this annihilation, because this one's actually pretty fun. It's pretty much in a nutshell that the real star of the show, just like other annihilations, it usually comes down to a range user, and this one, quite frankly, is Ifrit because she is literally burning down the lane. Like, I know what the video says, but we're gonna get to everything. So this annihilation strat literally goes out to Jama, who literally told me about it. However, the MVP of this run is Ifrit. The side a couple of things to know is that Thorns is actually taking the sub DPS role. If you're really paying attention to this, he's only
Yeah.
attacking like two different lanes: the one on the far right and the one on the left in La Pluma's lane. While La Pluma is literally dealing damage and everything that's coming through where Siege is standing.
Yeah.
So, and also those three operators who I discussed are later getting boosted by Scotty Alter. While Saria is any of them are gets too low in health, that's where she literally just or end up take damage. Automatic skill 2 pop.
Yeah.
And while Talasis is up there with the SP cost and also healing. So
Yeah. Now, I will say that with this annihilation, there's plenty of units you can run, but generally, like AOE is the name of the game because you're dealing with a lot of mobs, and especially later on when you have to deal with the Oregano tumors. If the tumors overwhelm your operators, you might be in serious trouble. So what that means is having units that can AoE clear them before they reach your operators is very good. So like Ifrit is really good in this stage. Um, if we're talking about just melee operators, Siege can be great to just stand there. Blaze is also pretty good. La Pluma is surprisingly good for this, because she can also deal AoE damage.
now another thing to note.
Oh,
Now you're also looking at the strategy. Don't forget what Siege's ability is. Like, while each and every last one of these enemies are dying, she is literally gaining one, and I repeat, one deployment cost every time. They literally stand
SP.
SP cost. Sorry, mispronounced it. But you notice that it's still going up, and we're at 318. Well, actually, I'm actually looking at two different screens. The one on the video says like 318, well, 324, 327, and the one that's actually showing in real time is like 342. Well, now 345, and this is probably the highest I've seen it go.
Yeah. And I can tell you this much. With the right unit combination, you can pretty much do
Get
this
down there.
annihilation. Basically like pretty much full AFK. You can pretty much have a full AFK set up with it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Aofiala's skill 2 is very good for like AFK strat in this stage.
I'm willing to bet that Scotty Alter is really going to be replaced. Because the only thing she's doing is because not only is
Oh
she
no,
healing.
you can keep. To be honest, if you have a Scotty S2M3 with a Saria skill 2, that's kind of already enough healing. Like, there's not really dangerous damage threats, and even if there are, like like the infiltrators, they're gonna come out from top, and they generally just die to Ifrit's damage and
La Pluma.
AoE. Yeah. So generally it's not an issue. Like the regen from Scotty plus like Sari's skill 2, that is basically like good enough. The range operators don't. What I would do would be like, yeah, Telopsis not. I don't think is even that much needed. Like I
I
did
mean,
a,
I mean
I did a
the
slight alter shot on this
I mean
using
the
Blaze.
I mean you're not wrong. Like the SP cost is literally like giving not only La Pluma but Ifrit more chances to kill. Like
Hmm.
I'm never gonna deny that, but Jesus Christ, look at her go.
Yeah. Obviously, La Pluma here can be. If you have Blaze, you can use her. Like, obviously, if you have Mudrock, you can also use Mudrock skill 2. Yeah, it's got for real estate. Lapland might be an interesting unit to use too because there's spiders in these stage, and her silence prevents them from spawning more of those tumors, especially when she kills them. So Lapland's also another unit you could use in this stage.
I will more likely if I had to go back and take a look. I'm more likely to take out La Pluma and put Lapland there and have her facing left. Well,
Yeah.
left of Siege.
Yeah. Or you could use Blaze.
Or Blaze.
Like, yeah.
We're already over the halfway mark.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get a chance to use the brand new operators, but using something like this and literally seeing La Pluma literally take one of the main damage rolls and while Thorns is literally supporting.
Yeah. Pluma is pretty strong. I say for most players, La Pluma is going to be pretty good. Like, she's a self-sustain. She's a self-sustain 2 blocker that can AoE. And has a really strong damage skill with skill 2. She's pretty good for 5-star. Like, it's hard to say because like we don't usually get 5 stars as good as this.
No, we don't. Speaking of operators, after this Annihilation run, we need to go ahead and talk about why we making a video today, which is in the title it says brand new chapter 9 incoming. Upcoming.
Yeah. So the episode 9 of Arknights called Stormwatch is gonna be coming around this Thursday.
Yeah.
And
well, hold on.
basically,
First let's let the Annihilation stage play through first, and then we'll do that because
yeah. Try that.
I have no idea how to do timestamps, but if there was a time to do timestamps, so I'll probably be like, hey, timestamp on this to here to here. If you want to talk, if we're talking Annihilation, and then timestamp for like, all right, if we got to switch to skip Annihilation, we'll just go ahead and go to this year.
Yeah.
Alright, we're about to hit the 350 mark on
Yeah.
there. On the video it says 338 or 339.
Yeah. Although I would say what you can adjust To be honest, the only adjustment you could do if you're just using the same units is have siege facing down. So that when enemies comes towards Saria, she can also hit them. Because then that would make it, it just makes things cleaner.
To give you
But
guys a little hint on how much damage these guys have right now is 844 on siege, 932 without the skill being popped, and with the skill being popped on Thoris is 1887. 1406 now with the skill being popped.
yeah.
That's tricky.
And this is what's good about Scotty Alter. Like the amount of buff she's giving is pretty good.
Alright, the last 10 enemies.
Alright, let me be right back to get some water and then we can continue.
Mm-hmm. Look at it, for it literally can reach way up there. Diploma, fucking ridiculous, I swear. Okay, so that was Annihilate the Long Springs Waste Annihilation. So if anyone, and I do mean anyone, was having trouble or didn't know a strat, there's your strat.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you have the units, that's the strat that I use for Annihilation. So let's go ahead and get into this whole business of Jesus Christ. This is gonna be a lot. So, God, where do we start? I guess we'll start with Chapter 9 as a whole and what's happening in Chapter 9.
Yeah.
And now I don't know how to make timestamps on YouTube, so. I don't think Gemma knows how to do that either.
I could do it. I might have to do it in my own spare time. I'll probably leave the I'll try to leave the timestamps in the comment section. Just down there. It's kind of just copy and paste really for timestamps.
I know.
But yeah. But I'll try to do something with the timestamps on possibly in the comment below the VOD on YouTube. So
Yeah, that would actually help. Alright. So let me go ahead and deploy these and then. Alright, so that's pretty much it for Annihilation. So if anybody, and I mean anybody who is wondering anything about what I did for my annihilation strat, there it is. Well, there it was. Now begins the discussion of Chapter 9 as a whole when we go to the announcements. So, under the event tab, you guys should already have gotten this already. Stormwatch open. So, you literally see a picture here, a bagpipe on the left, and one of the brand newer units on the right, which is, I can't pronounce it.
Saylock.
Saylock, yeah. So, now, if you are wondering if Saylock is a must have unit, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a spoiler. If you are not planning on doing CC high risk, or if she is not your waifu, leave it. That is the biggest. That is the biggest thing I can tell you straight up front right now. If she is not your waifu, or if you are not planning on doing high risk CCs, drop it. Don't waste your money. Don't sit here and say it's a must have unit. Like even if you are a collector, if you are a collector, you can afford it. Go for it. But if you are a person that is debating, then the answer is no.
Yeah.
So, but okay, what does she does? What does she do?
So,
Yeah.
okay. Yo,
Yeah.
pretty much, Saylock is she's basically the first ever 6-star flag vanguard, which is classified as the standard bearer, which is the same class as the units like Myrtle and Elysium. Which her unique thing comparatively to Myrtle and Elysium is basically based on her talents. Is she has two talents, of course, like any 6-star operator at Elite 2. She has a banner when she's deployed, and ally units in the surrounding 8 tiles to the banner will gain +5 attack speed, and enemies lose -5 attack speed, which this effect doubles at E2. And she also has an effect where after deployment, DP cost of the next deployed operator is -2. This is kind of the main thing. If in an entire kit wise, in the skills, skill 1 is basically the exact same as Myrtle and Elysium skill 1. So there's really no difference. In fact, the amount of DP it gives and the SP cost is basically the same as Elysium skill 1.
So to help you guys out here a little bit, I pulled this up on the A-Ship GitHub, aship.github.io. I'm pretty sure that anyone who plays or knows Arc Knights already knows about this site by now. I'll say the name of the site again: aceship.github.io. So pretty much, this is what she looks like in the form of from going from E0 level 1 to E2 level 1.
Yeah.
Here we have your 2 talents. After deployment, the cost of the next operator is -2. And the other one is when deploy holds an ensign within the 8 surrounding tiles of the ensign, allied operator gains 10 attack speed and enemies have -10 attack speed. So I pretty much where Jami was explaining this, like every operator in Arcanines has their own niche, and if I were to theoretically say or tell you that straight up that we literally have someone that can give already bet more DP than the other, then the 4-star is already doing that. Then what makes her unique, besides her being a 6 star, is that so let's look at the first skill: support, order, type, gamma.
Uh, yeah,
So here we go. Skill one: stop attacking enemies. Gradually obtain 18 DP while the skill is active. SP cost is 10, 35 SP cost. And if we just scroll over to skill 7, 12, 25, 12, 29, 18, 8 seconds. And if we make this M3, which is 15, 26, trigger 8 seconds. So when you really look at it, Myrtle is pretty much beating the skill.
yeah.
Like
I would
that.
say the skill one that Saylock has is exactly the same as Elysium. But the problem is with Saylock is she is a 12 cost at E2. To put into comparison, Myrtle at potential 6, which pretty much
Uh,
everyone should most likely have, is an
well,
8 cost. While Elysium is an 11 cost at pot 1. Which Elysium also most likely you might have a pot or two as well. Like
now,
basically they're overall cheaper, so the DP gain ends up being like more so in favor of Myrtle Elysium.
so like I said, this is going to be one of those cases to where you don't really bring her for skill one because we already have someone that's doing the job better,
Yeah,
and we already have less seconds on that. And the thing is, you don't really have to M3 skill one for Myrtle unless you're doing high risk CC where it's actually mandatory for that to happen.
yeah,
But yeah, skill two, inheritance of faith. Stops attacking enemies and gradually obtain 20 DP while the skill is active. Pass the instant to the location of the ally with the lowest HP percentage within range, granting them 10% defense and heal them for 10% of sailors attack every second. Retrieve the insight after the skill ends. Um, this was a skill. You weren't talking about this skill. You were talking about skill 3, right?
yeah. Skill 2 is the utility skill, but unfortunately this skill is not going to come up in usage simply because it's just way too niche for this skill to ever be like
I mean,
used at its full value.
this is the part. Now, this is where Scaldy Alter comes into play, and if you have her, cool. But I would rather use Sora over this. And that's just a personal preference.
Now, the main deal with Saylock is gonna be within her skill 3, which apparently this is like true to a lot of operators these days in the 6 star category.
I mean, it depends on the 6 star. Like, there are some
Depends
six.
on the 6 star, but I say I say most of them are gonna be like skill 3 is their power skill
Yeah, like,
generally.
I remember back in the beginning where skill 1 on X2 was not a bad thing to bring with you. But then again, we have Blue Poison who literally just said, "Bitch, I can literally just do the I can literally do the same thing what you do, but I can literally hit somebody that's literally not in my range with that." Plus, it's literally she's literally one was a hybrid, the other one is not is pure physical. So it's like,
Mhm.
yeah. All right. So, glorious banner. Starts attack enemies and immediately gain 10 DP. Throw the ensign at the location of a ground enemy, dealing 170% physical damage to nearby enemies and stunned up for 2.5 seconds. Inflict slow and 15% weakening effect to enemies within the 8 surrounding tiles of the inside. Retreat the inside after the skill ends. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. And this skill at M3 will have 300% attack physical damage and stuns for 3.5 seconds, and the fragile is applied for 30%.
Which is nuts. Like,
Yeah. And it has a
I
20 SP cost. Uh, this is basically Salok's unique skill that sets her apart from Myrtle and Elysium. It's not so much in terms of DP generation, but it has a good amount of utility. Kind of what you're looking for.
now, if any of these skills kind of like turn you off from Salok, I would just do the whole skip thing and call it a day. Like, you're not pressured to get
Yeah.
new operators when a new chapter comes out. Like, I remember when chapter 6, 5, 6, yeah, chapter 6 was when Blaze came out, and everybody wanted that motherfucking goddamn unit because she was so fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And I didn't get mine till like way later down the road.
Hmm.
But this is one of those you don't necessarily need to waste all your time, effort, and energy into this. This is one of those cool that you grabbed it, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
And literally looking at the skill 1, 2, and 3, we already have a 4-star, a 5-star, that's already
Yeah.
doing this job already. So that part's gone.
Yeah.
And so that leaves skill 2 and 3. And
Yeah.
2 literally is not terrible, but I personally would not use her for that because I have Scotty Alter. So
Yeah.
it literally becomes, well, do I want her for a skill 3 or no?
Which that would be her best skill, and if you're ever gonna put master points into her, it's gonna be on that one.
Yeah.
Always. Because that skill, while it doesn't generate as much DP, it gives you a good amount of utility with the stun and fragile effect, as well as it has very low SP cost. That's the main strengths of it, and it has good synergy. There's there is one operator, other 6-star operator, that has very good synergy with Salok on the skill 3,
Oh.
and that is Ash. Because Ash, for those who don't know, has a skill on her main skill, the skill 2, allows Ash to throw a flashbang and then start firing. And the flashbang is a stun. And Salok's skill 3 is also stun. So what you can do is you can layer a double stun. And this actually synergizes really well with Ash because Ash does more damage against enemies that are stunned. Basically effectively making Ash output more damage than she normally would. That's kind of the one interesting synergy you can use Saillock for on this go 3. But otherwise, yeah, as we said, like, she's not too high value. The only people who find like true value in her is basically people who are doing high risk, but not just any high risk. I'm talking like high risk 20, low risk 30 type stuff. So like damn near max risk.
Like 28, 29, 32, 33, 30.
It's at that level, but at that level, it's like
Pay,
potentials matter and stuff, and
pay to win,
yeah,
and you're more likely pay to win.
yeah. And in that situation, Saylock is like a must. And most likely you'll probably M3 her skill 3 and skill 1. Because people are pretty much like the higher like tier wills are using her in place of Myrtle in a lot of strats in the future. So that's kind of it. But aside from that, if you're just a normal player, like if you're an F2P player or low spender, I would say she's not a must unit. The thing is, the value that she gives is not doesn't try on Myrtle Elysium. So so it's pretty much like stick to Myrtle and Elysium mostly.
Now I got the whole annihilation going on in the background.
Yeah.
1 second. God, I love that video game so much. All right.
So you want to go over the next rate ups?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So within Saylock's banner, the 5-star rate ups we have is Mulberry and Liskarm. Liskarm is
Been with us
not a
since
new
like
unit.
yeah.
She's not a new unit.
This
Yeah,
kind has been with us since for like since day one.
pretty
So
much.
yeah. So more than likely you should have her.
Yeah.
The other
And
one is Mulberry.
Mulberry.
Mulberry. I'm trying to use the site to literally find her. Uh, wow. I saw something I didn't think I'd see. I see a 3-star guy, 5-star form. Holy shit!
Yeah.
And I ain't talking about lava either.
Yeah. Lava already got it. This figure's real. Yeah. So
Where is she?
do you know
Uh,
how to write the name now?
I didn't think that was an option. Actually, I thought it was just you search. I approached me and got in there. Gosh, I ain't finished this. Oh, there we go. Oh, another healer.
Yes. She's a
Oh,
one.
yeah, we talked about this actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So she is a
So,
class known as the Wandering Medic.
so what you guys are in for is actually a little treat and a little taste of what's about to happen in chapter 9. So
Yeah.
in chapter 9, majority of the healers that we've actually had are literally like AoE or like single target.
Yeah.
So reading this description literally like jumps at you back saying like what the fuck? So heal friendly unit recovers elemental damage equal to 50% of attack power. Can heal the elemental damage of unhurt units.
Hmm. Yeah. So you're looking at a skill 1, right?
I'm looking at
The talent?
I'm looking at the trait. So here we go.
Yeah, that's the trait of the Wandering Medic.
When mobile at least one other medic operator are deployed, all medic operators gain attack plus 10%, which is a good
It's an okay buff.
yeah, not the best.
Because more attack means medics can heal more. Now, so yeah. Also, for those who are wondering what's the elemental damage, if you're familiar with Undertide's event and the nerve corrosion, it's similar to that, basically.
So here we go. Healing Miss. The next heal has 100, 120% heal amount and elemental damage recovery. Prioritize the target with highest elemental damage taken. Can hold like one charge.
Yeah.
And of course, it's probably going to hold two charges when you get to skill 7. Oh, M1. Okay, M1.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is going to be Safe Zone. Reduce attack interval reduced to 40% and prioritize the target with the highest elemental damage taken. All allies within attack range receive 15% less elemental damage.
Yeah. So yeah, this is basically Mulberry's consistent healing skill. That is an auto trigger, and it recovers by SP. Which, yeah, this is basically just like a consistent healing skill, which will heal the elemental damage as well.
And the other one was Liskarm, and we all know Liskarm.
Pretty much. So we go on skill 2. Mulberry?
But what else I talked about was skill 2? Safe Zone.
The safe zone. Yeah, so skill 2 is basically comparatively to the skill 1 is a burst skill, which has a pretty sizable duration, and her sustained healing is pretty good with it. And from what I've heard, she actually has a pretty strong heal per second with the skill 2, because she actually gets basically a greatly reduced attack interval, which breakpoints at M2 on the skill. So funnily enough, she is a medic that's actually worth putting masteries in. which I would say the important ones would be M1 on skill 1 and M2 on skill 2. Those are like the main breakpoint masteries. However, if you want to go further, like skill 1 can go to M3, and M3 will get 1 less SP cost, which works quite well. M3 on skill 2 is not super worth because the gain is not that big. But basically, she might actually be a medic that is actually worth putting masteries in. Which is not something you can say that often, because generally we don't really consider medics masteries to be as important.
You know, now that I go back and think about it over and over again, have you ever
Yeah.
thought about we always had elemental healers, and just so that we're just clear that there's a lot of elemental healers that we already had in the game, and some of them probably just were unappreciated, or just not really all that where we never we just don't really appreciate them that much.
Are you talking about the therapist medics?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Whisper and Ceylon Pure Stream. Yeah, yeah, we don't use them as much. It's just because it's kind of like how would I say? It's kind of like therapist medics have a good niche, but they're not used that much because their niche is not really doesn't come in doesn't kick in too often. Right?
Hmm.
But this time that the wandering medics actually will have pretty good usage for people who are going through the episode 9 story and like future event stages as well, especially if you're dealing with elemental damage enemies.
Actually,
However,
now that I think about it, when I
yeah,
actually go back and think about it, who is next on this list?
next on this list is a unique 4-star unit named Roberta.
But I know some people don't even like that name.
Yeah, but as for Mulberry, if anyone's asking, should I pull on the banner to try to get her? I would say not really, because from what I've seen in CN, they're soon gonna release new operators in the Shopwatcher store, and one of them is gonna be a 5-star named Honeyberry, and which we're gonna go over later. But she's basically another wandering medic, basically exactly the same class as Mulberry, and fills the same purpose. So, and you can just buy off from the Shaw voucher store for 600 uh, Shaw vouchers. Which, yeah. So I would say you don't really need to pull from Mulberry on Saleox banner because of for those reasons. Because we're gonna get a unit that's doing the similar role. Now onto Roberta. She's a Artificer class supporter, but she's the first of a kind. Um, the unique thing is she's a supporter that is deployed on ground, if I recall.
Yeah, which caught my attention because I saw a supporter. I'm like, wait a minute, you can block? Excuse me?
Yeah, she can actually be deployed on ground, unlike other supporters. Now let's just go through her abilities one by one, because
Can blow two enemies. Can use support devices. Carries three stylers. Can only deploy three together. Stylers grant defense plus 30% and two shields to a melee unit. Lasts 25 seconds. Defense increase does not stack.
Yeah.
Secret Soul style makeup, we can just skip the skill 1. Skill 2 is this. Automatic styler. Stops attacking enemies. Block count plus 1. Defense plus 20%. When the skill ends, gain one styler.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Actually, that's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, she's a very interesting unit. And now, if you're wondering what her stylers are supposed to be like, they're very much like they act very much like Nightingale's bird cages, where they don't block, but the thing is, they don't get targeted by enemies. So enemies cannot interact with it, which is a very good thing, and it can also give like extra tankiness towards your operators out on the field.
Hmm. Starting up the next annihilation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So overall, Roberta is an interesting unit. We'll have to see sometime later. Still haven't fully done. I still haven't fully seen like proper showcases of Roberta yet, but I'll mostly say she's a kind of an interesting niche unit. Quite honest. We'll kind of see how it turns out. But that's basically the entire banner.
So overall thoughts on the banner is not really a banner that you guys need to pull on. This is a skippable banner. Nothing really too crazy in this banner that says, hey, go get it now. Or, hey, this is pretty good. But, like, okay, if I had to be honest with you, if you are literally a guy that's watching this video right now that's trying to go higher beyond the Call of Duty with, like, Pot 6 operators, or the selected shot that you're under with these selected operators, that will be the banner you go for because not only are you trying to get the character, you're also trying to get bots. Let's see if I remember correctly. So, from what I'm hearing, and this is the part where this is going to be very interesting, is that there's like 21 stages at least in chapter 9.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stages. So,
Which each of them was probably going to have challenge mode.
Yeah.
Most likely.
And well, 9.2 through 9.7, 9.9 to 9.19. So here we go. And then the extreme mode is H9 through H9-1 to H9-1 to H9-6. So we're getting 6 stages on the extreme mode. And we usually get like 4?
So that would be interesting.
So we talked about the banner. We talked about each of the units. Alright, so 7-day login. You guys should know the deal when doing like new stuff for a new chapter, or new stuff for like an event. Like try to log in as much as possible at bare minimum.
Yeah.
We try
also,
we try like decent rewards, so I wouldn't say no to that.
Yeah. We're also getting a free skin, actually. There is a free skin. I wonder if you can guess who that is. Obsolete.
No idea.
No idea? So, we're getting a free skin for Pinecone.
So Pinecone is getting her own free skin.
Yeah. But it's kind of like when I first saw the skin, it kind of spooked me because like Pinecone looks so different in that skin compared to her normal look. But yeah. So from that we have the limited time drop events. So like every like stages you're farming is gonna have a chance of dropping extra materials or extra sanity. which I'll say one thing to note importantly, because this is very important. Apparently, they patched some stages and nerfed the rates, which this includes 1.7 and CE5.
Why would they nerf the rates?
Because the thing is the rate scaling was pretty high on 1.7 and CE5 that people were spamming those stages. And it was and those stages were like way better than other stages to get sanity pots from. Because the way the sanity pots RNG works is that higher sanity cost means higher drop rate. But also the low sanity cost doesn't the drop rate's lower, but the rate is not a big enough difference compared to like a normal stage with like regular sanity, like 15 or 18 sanity. So that's why 1.7 and CE5 was like the main culprits of this, which is why they nerfed it. So that is why if you're trying to farm stuff during this limited time drop event, I suggest avoiding 1.7 and CE5 because they're now like the least efficient stages for it. Just basically farm any other stage but those two stages, and you should be good. And also we got new skins.
Which
Two new
are
skins.
which is Keto and Arcesia.
Yeah.
Which I'm on down for the 6 star and the 5 star getting new skins. But that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also getting rerun of the Lost Lands.
Yeah.
Which is Suzerain, April, and Leonhardt.
Yeah.
New furniture. And new operator workers of Sword, Midnight Catapult, and Bagpipe.
Yeah. Which, not gonna lie, that skin rerun, I kind of want to get the Susan skin because I'm probably gonna get her like sometime soon, next month probably. So I wouldn't mind getting it before then. And apparently we're getting modules for multi-target medics or AoE medics, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know like they would need modules, but
That's a lot of medals.
yeah, they had a fair amount of new medals.
And all honestly, and this is just me personally, I think Chapter 9 is going to be a very fun content, but I don't think we have to worry about us having to grab like any must unit or anything like that. But don't forget, we can also take our time doing it because, well, you know, if we,
Yeah,
because I'm gonna do like a couple of stages and go like I'm gonna gradually go through the stages. 297. Did we
Mhm.
hit all the points?
That's pretty much it for episode 9. We covered everything.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna end here, and
Alright.
we can talk about the rest of the stuff later.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
All
Yeah.
right. So, Jeremy, thank you so much for coming through and helping.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest and prepare for the next stream for later on today,
Yeah.
or probably in a couple hours because, well, I've been playing a lot of other games. But I hope this video helps you guys out. Help you guys out with not with Annihilation, but with upcoming units. Not and hopefully it doesn't discourage you of getting other units that you guys wanted to get. So, but again, Jeremy, thank you so much for coming through. Uh, any last words or anything else we should discuss?
Uh, not very much now. Actually, is there anything I want to make last points on? Uh, just making sure. Oh, right. One more thing, just before we go, is episode 9 is gonna have new um there's new mats added, farmable in episode 9, which is the newer operators are gonna use. Like, so, like, for anyone who's pulling for Saylock or Mulver and Roberta, they're most likely gonna use the new mats
Right.
from episode 9. So that's what you kind of have to prepare farming for. Yeah, that's basically it.
All right. Well, if that's all, then I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you anybody who wanted to watch this, and hopefully it was very informative. So, stream, I'll talk to you guys a bit later on today. And, Jeremy, hopefully you can make those timestamps.
Oh, yeah, I'll make the timestamp some point on a later date.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
stream, this is your boy, Asali here, and Jeremy. Hopefully you guys have a good day, and hopefully this video helps you out.